say you're doing a practice ritual and you've decided to do 60 minutes. And that is awesome. So if you've got your 4 topics, you're going to do each topic for 15 minutes. Okay, that sounds easy enough. Well, let me ask you, and be honest, have you ever done something you really were struggling with for 15 minutes? Did it not seem like an hour? Did you ever do something that you love for 15 minutes? And you're like, oh my gosh, that was 15 minutes? Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, where does the time go? Time is relative, right? So if you're doing something for 15 minutes that you're thoroughly enjoying, it feels like no time goes by. If you're doing something for 15 minutes that you are just like, oh my gosh, I can't get through this, it feels like an eternity. Well, that's what would happen to me when I was in music school and I had to do stuff. There was no, well, I didn't have to do it, but I wouldn't have been a professional musician. So to me, it was like, look, I got to do this stuff. And for me, my biggest challenge was reading. So like most, musicians who don't play concert band instruments, I came at my instrument from theory and from ear training. And I did learn reading in high school. I joined the concert band, the jazz group, and in college I did all sorts of reading. But it was always, lagged behind my other skills. So when I went to full-on music school after my degree, I'm like, man, I got to get this. I got to get this going. So I would work on all these reading exercises, and I got to tell you, 15 minutes, it just seemed like eternity. And I just felt my mind wandering. I felt like I couldn't give 15 minutes of focus. Well, what I would do, and this was a suggestion from one of my teachers, instead of trying to focus on something for 15 minutes, try 5 minutes. You're like, wait, I thought you said 15. Yeah. But I could do 3 5-minute segments, right? So I can focus on something for 5 minutes. And it was one of those things like, look, if you can't focus for 5 minutes, maybe you should be doing something else, right? So what I would do back in the day, had a little egg timer, right? Now you guys got phones and all kinds of things you could put timers on. I would set that timer for 5 minutes. And I go, you know what? You don't look at the timer. You don't think of anything else. All you do is focus on this. And you know what? I could do it. I could do it. I could do 5. And let me tell you, sometimes that was the longest 5 minutes of my life. But I found that I focused more because it was only 5 minutes. Now, when 5 minutes would be done, beep, 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 I'd reset my timer. I would close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, maybe take a drink of water. I wouldn't leave my seat. It's a little break. Turn the timer back to 5 minutes, bang, and do complete 100% focusing for another 5 minutes. Turn it off, breathe deep, another 5 minutes, focus, 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 boom, 15 minutes is over. And I gotta tell you, I got amazing results with this. Again, when I was practicing stuff that I felt more engaged with, 15 minutes wasn't a big deal. But for these times where I was just getting crushed and I would find myself drifting off and then having to come back to it, this idea of making it shorter really helped.